Right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. The date is Tuesday, December 6, 2022. The time is now 9 o'clock. It is a meeting of the Kings County Board of Supervisors. We thank you for being here. We continue to deal with the health emergency. So the board is using the WebEx teleconferencing format for today's meeting. So whether you're joining us by way of the web or by the teleconferencing, we thank you for joining us virtually. For those interested in making comments under unscheduled, please use the raise your hand feature online. And hopefully you've made contact with the clerk if you are on the teleconferencing portion of the platform. Members in the audience who filled out a speaker card, we will be taking those in the order received by the clerk, and we wish you well as we work through those unscheduled comments. Each vote today will be a verbal or voice vote so that members of the public can hear how each board member has voted. After we've had a motion and a second and the item is taken up, there'll be a roll call vote by district. With those items out of the way, will the clerk please call the roll to establish quorum?
Joe Nevs.
Here.
Richard Valley.
Here.
Doug Verboon.
Here.
Craig Peterson.
Here.
Richard Fagundes is absent.
Let the record show we have 4 members present. We have established a quorum. Thank you, Madam Clerk, for calling the roll. Now, if we invite Pastor Sylvia Gaston of Koinonia Church forward to deliver the invocation, and then please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. If you'd please join me in bowing your heads. Dear God, we just come before you, Father, first of all, acknowledging you as having authority over all the earth, having authority over our community and over our lives. Lord, we are very thankful. Your word tells us to enter your presence with praise and thanksgiving. And we are very thankful that even if we are struggling financially, we have enough food to eat. We have a warm place to sleep. We have people who love us. We have jobs. God, we thank you for those, and let us not ever take them for granted. Lord, I thank you for your graciousness over our community. I ask that you would instill in each and every one of us during this season an overwhelming amount of generosity to our fellow mankind, that those around us, Father, that we would sacrifice a little so that we could lift them up. I pray that you help us to lift others that we come in contact with throughout our day with words of encouragement, Father. Let us be encouragers in our community, God. It's an easy thing to do, and we should be doing it often. Father, I ask also that you would grant us wisdom for all of our decision makers that are here today, for all of those that are here in the room and online who have business before this body. Father, I ask that you would give them wisdom and discernment, give them favor, Father, in their dealings. And Lord, we pray for rain, and we give you praise and thanks in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Sylvia. Now join me as we honor America by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is unscheduled appearances. Any person may directly address the board at this time on any item on the agenda or any item within the subject matter jurisdiction of this board. 2 minutes are allowed for each item. Does the clerk have a record of unscheduled comments?
I have no written comments, but the first speaker card is Jamie Bell.
Good morning. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. I wanted to talk a little bit about the voting machines,
Okay.
the black box voting machines that nobody knows what's going on inside of them. One county in South Dakota did a total hand recount. And in one of the precincts, the vote was off by 21%. And none of the machines counted right in any of the county. Also in Georgia, it was a down ballot race. And the nice lady was told that she lost. And then she was looking into it, and even in her own precinct, it showed 0 votes. Well, she knew that her and her husband voted for her. So they did a hand recount, and Brad Ratzenberger looked inside the machine and said, Oh, there's 3,700 votes for you. It was a programming error. Oh, well, what are these machines programmed to do? We saw that in our recall election on CNN, watching CNN live. 300,000 votes switched from being yes to recall to being no to recall right in front of your eyes. How does that happen? Then it's also said that they're not hooked up to the internet. Well, no, there's no cord going to them. But they have Wi-Fi capability. And that is proven right here because I told Loopy, well, let me take a Wi-Fi detector next to him. And he said, no, not my machines. What makes them think they're his machines? And I guess that's about all I have to say for today.
Very good. Thank you.
The next speaker is Dominic Tyberski.
Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dominic Tyberski, Public Works Department Head. Before you this morning to introduce our new Parks and Grounds Superintendent, Natalie Brinson. She comes to us from the great state of Indiana with a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration. She has numerous awards, years of experience in managing Indiana state parks. And I would just want to take this opportunity to introduce her and give her an opportunity to introduce herself to you.
Good. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Last Thursday, I gave her 100 grand. Too bad it was a candy bar.
I knew I was in the right spot. On the first meeting I had, I got 100 grand, right?
Yeah.
Good morning, members of the board and Mr. Chairman. As Dominic said, my name is Natalie Brinson. I'm the new Parks and Grounds Superintendent for Kings County. I came here from Indiana. I moved here by myself with my 2 dogs, and I'm thrilled to be here. I am excited to live in California for the opportunities in the terrain. It's a little more varied here than in Indiana, if you can imagine that. So excited to be around all the parks that are here and all of the opportunity to explore and adventure. I have served the last 7 to 8 years as a manager for the Indiana State Parks. I was the assistant property manager at Versailles State Park and then transferred to Clifty Falls State Park, where I served there the last 4 years. I was promoted in January of this past year to property manager there, so I lived on the property. Clifty Falls is a rugged, in terms of Indiana standards, a rugged park with a 5-mile canyon. So I acted in duties such as search and rescue, and then very similar duties that you all are familiar with here as far as budgeting, project management, groundskeeping, and those types of items. I do have a bachelor degree in business administration from Ball State University, and I know that that is going to serve me well for this position. I'm excited to be here. I can't wait to work with you all and get to know you, and I look forward to it. Thank you for having me.
Good. Thank you. Good luck.
Welcome.
It's always good when you come back.
I went to India a couple times in February, and you fly in and there's 3 colors. You got white, black, and gray. And I was in downtown India, and I needed to cross my hotel. I wanted to go catty corner across the park downtown. And I'm like, well, look, it was nice outside. And I went outside, it was -13. I couldn't get back in that place fast enough. So gonna enjoy it's not that nice here as it would be near the coast, but it's a lot better than Indianapolis. So welcome.
Well, good luck. Now we'll see if she comes back after payday. That's the next milestone. Madam Clerk, do you have any other unscheduled appearances?
That's all that I'm aware of, and it doesn't appear anyone online has their hand raised.
Very good. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Last call. Anyone in chambers? Seeing no one come forward, we'll move on to the next item of the morning, and that's a reporting out on the closed session at the regular meeting held on November 29th. And Diane, do you have a report out?
I do. The board took no reportable action on that day.
Very good. Thank you. The first action item of the day comes as the approval of the minutes from the meeting held on November 29th. Chair will entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Peterson, seconded by Verboen. Thank you very much. Discussion? Hearing or seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley.
Aye.
Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Craig Peterson.
Aye.
Let the record show the minutes stand approved, 4 in favor with 1 absent. Thank you very much. The next action item is in the form of a consent calendar, and all items under the consent calendar are considered to be routine and be acted by one motion. The request of any board member, any item may be removed and made part of the regular agenda. There are multiple items, and is there any discussion?
There's no question or comment. I'll move it presented.
Moved by Verboen,
Second.
seconded by Peterson. Thank you very much. Additional clarifications? Hearing or seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Joe Nevs.
Yes.
Richard Valley. Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Craig Peterson.
Aye.
Let the record show 4 in favor, 1 absent. The consent calendar stands adopted. Thank you very much. Moving to regular agenda items. First, a couple of items come from behavioral health. And Dr. Lewis, good morning. Thank you. for
Morning,
being
Mr.
here.
Chairman and members of the board. Lisa Lewis, Kings County Behavioral Health. Before your board this morning about agreements for 211 services and homeless management information system services with Kings United Way. I'd like to welcome Nanette here today. Kings County Behavioral Health is seeking approval for the renewal of 2 agreements with Kings United Way to continue providing services via the 211 system and for oversight of the homeless management information system called the HMIS system. We are seeking approval for the agreement with Kings United Way for 211 services retroactive effective of July 1st, 2022 and through June 30th, 2024. And approve the agreement with Kings County United Way for oversight of the homeless management information system retroactive effectively July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2024. The agreement amount for 211 services for fiscal year 22-23 is $118,371. Fiscal year 23-24 is $123,426. The agreement amount for the HMIS for fiscal year 21-22 is $27,274. 22-23 is $26,256. And for fiscal year 23-24 is $26,256. Revenue and expenses under both agreements were included in the department's fiscal year 22-23 adopted budget and budget unit 422200, Mental Health Services Act, MHSA. These agreements allow Kings County Behavioral Health to continue our partnership with Kings United Way for the provision of 211 and oversight of the HMIS for Kings County as part of fiscal year 2020 through 2023, which is in the MHSA plan under prevention and early intervention. 211 is a program of Kings United Way that serves as an information tool to provide local public resources and services from government, community, and nonprofit organizations. The program's primary function is to assist Kings County residents in navigating and accessing community programs regarding funding, help with food, housing, childcare, job training, mental health, and many more resources. The HMIS program is to integrate data from community-wide systems for generating a more comprehensive analysis of homelessness and those who are seeking who are homeless in Kings County, excuse me. These agreements are retroactive due to the high volume of contracts behavioral health is managing and staffing shortages within contracts. The sole source has been completed for Kings United Way. Currently, there is no other entity or organization within Kings County that possesses the infrastructure and capacity to continue providing these services. This agreement has been reviewed and approved by County Council as to form. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Lewis. Questions, comments, concerns?
You only have 2 meetings left. I don't know. No, Mr. Chairman, if there's no questions or comments, move for adoption.
Moved by Peterson,
Second.
seconded by Verboen. Additional discussion? Hearing or seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Joe Nevs.
Yes.
Richard Valley.
Aye.
Doug Verboon.
Yes.
Craig Peterson.
Aye.
Let the record show that item stands approved, 4 in favor, 1 absent. Would you like to continue with the California Mental Health Services?
Actually, I'm going to turn that over to Amanda Verge and
Oh,
Christy,
Amanda.
who are going to present to you. Before I go, I need to say, go Navy, beat Army.
My grandson just started, so yeah, I don't know. I might have to go equal on that one. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and board members. I'm before your board this morning to present the Kings County Behavioral Health Department's request to the board for the approval of the agreement with the California Mental Health Services Authority, CalMesa, for psychiatric, state psychiatric hospital beds and their work with the Department of State Hospitals, negotiating, procuring, and paying for the beds on behalf of the California counties. There's a lot of intricacies involved with this agreement and the other agreement that we have with CalMesa for state hospital beds. So Amanda is here to help walk us through those intricacies, and go Army.
Good job. Thanks, Christy. Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning. I'm Amanda Barrage, Program Manager for Kings County Behavioral Health in the Contracts Division. The agreement, as Christy mentioned, we bring before you is seeking approval of the agreement with CalMesa for the state hospital program, the California Mental Health Services Authority. The total cost of this agreement is $2,804. Revenues and expenses were included in the department's fiscal year 22-23 adopted budget and budget unit 42000 mental health. We actually began in 2013 working on these two agreements. The first one, which is the one that's before your board today, is for the approval of CalMesa's work to negotiate on our behalfs with the Department of State Hospitals for psychiatric state beds. CalMesa actually is a joint powers authority that does work on behalf of all the counties. So this agreement before you today is for them to do that work on our behalf to negotiate those rates for us. They are actually in the midst of negotiations for this fiscal year, July 22 through June 2023. So this agreement is sort of a placeholder agreement while they're continuing to negotiate the rates for 22-23 using rates that were in process for 21-22 as the placeholders. Last year we used 2 beds, so our portion of the agreement is the $2,804 for CalMesa to negotiate that on our behalf. The second agreement that we'll be bringing back before your board shortly will be the agreement between CalMesa, the Department of State Hospitals, and our county, which sets the exact rates for 22-23. And that one is also going to have a placeholder agreement with those rates from 21-22. And then that will be adjusted with the rates once those are finalized. We know the state is notoriously late with some of their agreements, so this one's no exception. This first part is the work with CalMesa. The one that will be forthcoming will be between CalMesa, DSH, and us. And with that, the board item is retroactive because we did receive this agreement late. It will go back from July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2023. It's retroactive because we didn't receive it from CalMesa until September. And I've already gone over the agreements. With that, we'd request that you would approve the agreement with CalMesa and Kings County for participation in the state hospital program retroactively effective from July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. And I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Amanda. Questions or comments for Amanda? Concerns?
If there's no question or comments, I'll move as presented. Thank you.
Moved by Verboen,
Second, Mr. Chair.
seconded by Valley. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Additional questions? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley.
Aye.
Doug Verboen. Craig Peterson.
Aye.
Let the record show that item stands approved, 4 in favor, 1 absent. Dr. Lewis, you want to say?
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to thank Amanda and Sarah, who works in her division, for all the hard work to get our contracts up to date. We are almost there. I think we're within a couple of them now. So we're very pleased, and they've worked incredibly hard. So I just wanted to acknowledge them. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thanks, Katie. The next item comes from elections. Loopy, you want to consider adopting and certifying the statement of votes?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Lupe Villa with the Elections Department. I come before you to present and to ask that your board accept the statement of vote for the November 8th, 2022 general election. Pursuant to California Election Code 15372, as the Register of Voters, I'm required to prepare and submit a certified copy of the statement of vote to the governing board, which is our board, within 30 days of the election. The election was certified last week, November 29th. A copy of the certified book was given to each one of you guys, and it's been provided to the public by our website. So it's available for another 9 years or 10 years from today. I would like to share some statistical information that reflects the turnout for the November 8th, 2022 general election, along with some historical data that we have. During the November 8th, 2022 general election, Kings County had 61,622 registered voters and experienced a turnout of 44.02, which is pretty good turnout for a midterm general election. Over 62,000 ballots were mailed out, 27,125 ballots were returned in process, and the following is some historical election data. So in front of you and up in the screens, you'll see that those are the voters that are registered in Kings County as of 12/2/2022, 61,545 registered voters, with Supervisor District number 4 leading the way with, or not number 4, number 3, with 14,944, followed by the 5th district, and then by the 4th district. So those are the party breakdowns that we see on the bottom. 23,941 Republicans, 20,660 Democrats, and no party preference at 12,306. Those numbers fluctuate. You can see the gaps are closing as the years goes by. The following slide is going to show you, this is the historical data. So 2016, there was we had a different election model in Kings County. It's what is called traditional model. Therefore, it's only one single day of election. It was an election day only. So the turnout in person was a lot higher than it is today, simply because we offer more days and more ways to vote nowadays. So there's 7,140 for a total turnout of 67%. Moving forward to 2018, the general election had a 58% turnout. Fast forward to 2020, which was one of our most probably active election that we had in Kings County. That was the 2020 presidential election. You see a turnout of 73.8%. That was a huge undertake that we had in our office, given that we faced COVID restrictions that we had, and we were successful in deploying and administering that election. Our gubernatorial recall election had a 50% turnout. And you can see those numbers there. Out of 61,879 registered voters, 31,000 cast their vote for that recall election in 2021. The following slide, you'll find the 2022 general election data. That's pretty interesting. 61,622 registered voters. We had 2,400 voters came out and voted in person during that time frame, for a total of 27,125. Down in the bottom to your left, you're going to find the statewide registration, which was just at 50%, which is pretty good for the midterm again. On the left side, you're going to find the contests that we're following closely within Kings County. You'll see that each one of those contests came over at 50%, which is a good spread to have within, if you're me, you like to have those wide margins. Okay, in this 2022 general, you'll find that those are the source of delivery of ballots to our office. In-person turnout, you'll find it in the top box. You'll see that the Kings County Government Center, or multi-purpose room, was very active. 674 folks showed up and voted, and followed by the Lemoore Civic Center at 617. Lemoore has always, historically speaking, been a very active community when it comes down to voting. So you'll see that those folks showed up and voted. It was exciting. It was great. We have very few minor details with some of the printers jamming with the paper. Other than that, we're very successful. No issues. Our voters were outstanding. Everything went as planned. On the bottom, you'll see the source of delivery. Our secure ballot drop boxes, which we have 11 of them deployed throughout Kings County, received over 12,000 ballots, and it was followed by the U.S. Postal Service at 9,300 ballots. Drop-off locations, being in our office, had 864, and then many of the voters decided to drop off their casted ballot at our vote centers for 2,200 ballots that were delivered as such. And final slide is going to be just general questions. So The public is more than welcome to call my office and then call me directly at 852-2433 should they have any questions, concerns regarding the November 8th, 2022 general election. I wanted to point something out on the on the second slide. We can go back to the second slide. You'll see that back in 2018, there was a total of 52,449 registered voters. As of today, we have over 61,000. That is an increase in 4 years of 9,100 voters in Kings County. That's very, very, very good. That means that our voters are registering to vote. The problem we have is those folks that are registered to vote must come out and cast their votes. So we plan for months for an election, and we expect our voters to come out and vote. We're ready for them to come out and vote. So I ask that moving forward, our voters listening to me online or in the public, please cast your votes. And we have a huge election coming up in 2024. So you're more than welcome to stop by, cast your votes in person or by mail, or you can always come and do early voting. I also want to share with you some of the winners that we had during this past election. Special thanks I want to give to my staff, Victor, Sonia, Manuel, and Paula, for all their hard work, dedication, and commitment to the County of Kings and for performing their duties as election officials with integrity and honesty. Thank you to all the staff that assisted with the election duties, such as roving, ballot retrieving, ballot preparation, deployment, and pickup of equipment. And thanks to all the poll workers. Without them, we would not be successful. And lastly, thanks to all the voters of Kings County who casted their vote and for embracing our new election model and for adhering to the California Election Code and the rules and laws of our state of California and County of Kings. With that said, congratulations, Mr. Chairman, on your successful re-election to represent District 1. You've earned yourself another 4 years. Thank you for your service and your commitment. I would like to congratulate Mr. Doug Barboon, who ran unopposed and served another 4 years, and Mr. Rusty Robinson, who we have in the audience, who will be replacing Mr. Peterson, who has decided not to seek re-election after serving 2 successful terms with Kings County. Thank you so much for your commitment. We appreciate you. Congratulations to our newly elected District Attorney, Sarah Hacker, who has served 6 years, and the term will start January 2023. And congratulations to our sheriff, who also earned a 6-year term effective January 2023.
Wait, 4, right?
6 years. Yeah, there's Assembly Bill 759, I believe it is, 759, that was signed by the governor back September 2022.
Oh,
And that extended what happened with the sheriff and the DA. Those 2 races were moved to the to the presidential election instead of a midterm. So because the next election for presidential is 2024, they added 2 years to those terms only for this.
Then they go back on the 4-year cycle.
And then they're going to go back to the 4-year cycle after the 2024 presidential election.
Wow.
Yeah, so Ms. Hacker was very pleased with that announcement. Can't say the same about the sheriff. So congratulations to our assessor, Christine Lee, and to our superintendent of school, Tar Barlow. They both ran unopposed, and they each earned themselves another 4 years. And bottom line is congratulations to all you elected officials who successfully had a good election this 2022. I ask that you please accept the November 8th, 2022 general election certified statement of the vote as submitted, and I'm available to answer any questions.
Very good. Thank you. Questions for Lupe?
Comment?
Comments? Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Villa, I just want to say thank you to you and your staff. I know it's election night's a busy night. People are probably calling all your phones, asking for the next report, and everyone wants to see results. They want to see them quick, but we know that takes time to do it right. And when you look around the state of California and some other counties that have some issues, I just want to say thank you for keeping us out of the spotlight in that.
So we worked very diligently during election, just not during election day, but leading up to election day. I can say that this last November 8th election was very successful. We were caught up and pretty much waiting on ballots to come in on Monday, the day before election. On Tuesday, election day, we got bombarded. So the delay of reporting out was caused due to the fact that, as you see the data, people showed up on election day, which is fine. That's what it's for. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just hoping that people moving forward vote early. So the release that we do at 8 PM on election night it's a accurate report, and moving forward, those reports can, reflect the true vote of the folks that have casted their vote on election day. So early voting is very beneficial to the office.
And not only that, just to get it done, I mean, look yesterday, you have assembly members and state senators get sworn in and immediately go into sessions yesterday. That being said, our Senate District 16th, we had no representative who was able to get sworn in yesterday. So Kings County is unrepresented in the state capitol as of right now because ballots aren't being done counted.
And it's very unfortunate. And, there is a 30-day certification period, which ends on Thursday, a couple of days from today. Some counties exercise that, those 30 days. We in Kings County choose not to. I try to certify as soon as I can to try to seal this and get it over with and move forward. Our certification day officially was last Thursday, November 29th. Being here with you guys and offering you to accept this statement of vote, it's the process that we have in place in Kings County, and it's a process I embrace, and I continue, and I will continue to do so. But just for the record, was that the certification of the election was last Thursday. So any potential recount request expired yesterday at 5 PM. We received none. Statewide offices have 30 days to file that recount request. So given the fact that our neighboring counties are struggling with reporting out, we are prepared to undertake any potential requests for recounts. My staff and myself are ready. If they want, they're going to have to pay cash for us to do that. It takes a lot of work, so that's part of the process, but we're willing to do so if requested. So
If that Senate race comes down to a recount for Kings County, what's that, about a week's worth of work? You got to move off site and get a locked room, security, and all those other expenses to do a recount?
based on my knowledge and historical data that I have, based on the elections office for Kings County, I don't believe we ever done a recount. This is a new grounds that we will be stepping on, but it's something that I'm looking forward to do. I think it's a good challenge. I think it's a good opportunity for us to learn. Unfortunately, it's a Senate seat that is pretty large. It encompasses 4 counties. Kings County is part of that, those 4 counties. If one of the candidates was to request a recount from us, we would definitely have to sit down and map out, but you're absolutely correct. The recount will not happen in my office. We would have to get security, we would have to get a campus board, which means a group of poll workers that would count and do the recount under my supervision and that supervision of my staff as well. So it would be a process that would have to identify and deploy and implement on the run and fast. So we have the gist of it, but we're ready for it. We're very ready for it. I don't have the numbers of the Senate 16 voters that we have in Kings County. To know how long it would take us to do the recount. The requester has an option of do a automated recount or a hand recount. Obviously, if they do a hand recount, we'll be there for longer than a week. But if they do an automated recount, it should take about a week to 10 days.
I know, thanks for thinking ahead on that. I mean, as of right now, it's a 12-vote difference with Kern County saying they're going to do their final drop on Thursday night, and they're reporting they have 100 ballots left to count. So 12 votes, I think either party would probably request a recount on a 12-vote spread for a Senate seat.
Yeah, and that's within, that they're allowed to do so. And again, we're ready for it. There is it's being a huge cost for us to administer that election. Everything from my salary to the building to security to staff will be something that the requester would be responsible to pay up. And they would have to pay that up front. We are not going to take a check that might end up being a basketball and bounce. We are going to request either a cashier's check, money order, or cash. And then we move forward. That is the plan that we have, and that is what they will be told if they do come and request. But if they do, we're ready for it. Again, it'd be exciting to do something different, something for us to learn. It's just unfortunate that it's such a huge seat. There's a lot of meaning behind that seat. There's a lot of authority behind that seat. So you have to be mindful and respectful of that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree too. It's like you look at today and I mean, the state of Georgia is on its second election.
Yeah.
And we have parts of our district that haven't completed one.
Yeah.
It's an embarrassment.
Yeah, yeah.
And it creates a lot of concern, I think, in the public. So thank you for getting it out quick and getting it sealed up.
Yeah,
You know,
you're certainly welcome. You know, I wish we could have had, you know, there's folks from other departments that come and assist us, and without their assistance, you know, it takes you long. You know, you got to be careful. We don't, you know, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You want to make sure that what you do it correct. And attention to detail matters when you're trying to administer an election that is legal and transparent. And that's what we do in Kings County. We did experience a lot of observers this last election, you know, from different political groups, the grand jury as well. And they were more than welcome to come and sit down and observe us work, which is basically what they did. So that's always welcome. You know, we're transparent. Anybody in the public is welcome to come and check out our office or operations. I'll be more than happy to give them a tour of that and explain to them how we do business.
Very good. Thank you. Staffing wise, any poll worker issues, any recruitment, retention?
Yeah, we had a very few people drop out towards the end of the cycle there, but we were very successful. We were able to meet the requirements. We were able to meet the voters that showed up. Again, the busiest day was election day, but thankfully the poll workers that we had in place, especially the multi-purpose room and in the more, did really well. So there was no issues with voters at all. So it's hopefully that is the same moving forward. You know, we are preparing today for 2024. As we get closer to mid-year, you know, it's going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge that we're willing to undertake. And I think we'll be successful, you know, and so as long as you follow the rules, you follow the laws, you're transparent and you provide a secure and legal election, we'll be all right. We'll be good.
Very good. Thank you. Yeah, because sometimes those part-time staffing is
Some
that's a
folks,
challenge.
some folks choose not to return because some of the, you know, difficulties we have with some voters that show up. It's not on them. It's the poll workers show up and do their job as we expect them to do. As the registrar of voters, I speak to each of the poll workers and I tell them what I expect from them. And that's what they're doing. They're just executing what I told them to do. If any member of the public has issues, they should be calling me directly and I'll be more than happy to sit down and talk to them. So, but we have to embrace and be happy that we have folks in our community that are willing to step up and serve as poll workers. But a lot of folks choose not to because of what comes behind it. You know, they get blamed for everything. So that's not fair, not fair at all. So
Good. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. Thank
Any
you
other
guys.
questions or comments?
If there's no question or comment, I'll move to accept the certified statement of vote. Thank you, Loopy.
All right, thank you guys so much. You guys have a good day. Thanks.
Perfect. Moved by Verboen, seconded by Peterson. Thank you very much. Discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley, Doug Verboen,
Yes.
Craig Peterson.
Let the record show that item stands approved. 4 in favor, 1 absent. Thank you very much. In the absence of James Erb, Tammy, you have the duty for a couple of items. Consider adopting the resolution delegating the investment authority and consider approving the director's finance statement of investment policy.
Yes,
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Tammy Phelps, Kings County Assistant Director of Finance for our Treasury Division. Annually, we come before your board and request the delegation of investment authority so that we can manage our $600 million investment pool, which includes surplus monies from the schools, the county, and our special district depositors. Our current resolution expires at the end of this month, so I'm here before you to request a new resolution be adopted for the 2023 calendar year. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to.
Thank you, Tammy. Questions, comments, or concerns regarding the investment authority?
If there's no question or comments, I'll move as presented.
Moved by Verboen, seconded by Peterson. Thank you very much. Additional questions? Hearing or seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley,
Aye.
Doug Verboen,
Yes.
Craig Peterson.
Aye.
Let the record show that delegating the investment authority has been approved. 4 in favor, 1 absent. Tammy, you want to continue?
Yes. The next item, along those same regards, is considering approving the Director of Finance's 2023 Statement of Investment Policy. Those are our helps us to manage the investment pool. And that comes before you again each year. We take that to our Treasury Oversight Committee. That went to them and was approved on November 7th of this year. And now we're requesting your formal approval of the investment policy.
Very good. Thank you, Tammy. Questions, comments, or concerns about the policy?
There's no question or comments about the policy. I'll move as presented. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moved by Verboen, seconded by Peterson. Thank you very much. Additional concerns? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Joe Nevs,
Yes.
Richard Valley, Doug Verboen,
Yes.
Craig Peterson.
Aye.
But the policy stands approved, 4 in favor with 1 absent. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
That concludes the formal business of today's activities. We'll now move to board member announcements and reports. Supervisor Peterson.
Yep, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Interest of time, we had a quick meeting. And my time is nearing an end. I'll just say,
For clarification, that's on the board, not in life.
No expiration date.
that's all I have.
Good, thank you. Supervisor Verboen.
You know, I have nothing to report.
What?
Thank you very much.
Nothing? Supervisor Valley.
I yield my time to Supervisor Peterson. No, I'm playing. Last week, last week, I forgot to thank everyone who helped out with Operation Gobble. Mr. Chairman, I want to thank Catherine, who came in on a Sunday and printed out about 1,000 letters and put the county seal on that thing, and 1,200. I know she was actually sick that day and then also had to get to Irvine for CSAC, and I appreciate that she did that. That helped a lot of people receive their turkey. We did 960 turkeys this year, and thanks to a lot of sponsors who helped out and a lot of volunteers who came to help give those birds out. So thank you, and thank you to the rest of the staff who pitched in too on that, and the firefighters who come out every year, the sheriff deputies, and our correctional deputies that come out and help give out a lot of birds. So appreciate it. Thank you.
Very good, thanks. For Supervisor Fagundes is not here today, but him and I sat on the Kings Waste and Recycling Authority Board, and we approved the land leases with Chip Mello. We also approved an employment agreement with Parveen Sadhu, who has become the new executive director of Kings Waste and Recycling. We also approved all of the reports, regular reports. The Maddie Institute hosted a Future of California Agriculture and Food Systems. Professor Seski from Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. It's always interesting to hear the perspective from the educational sector on agriculture. And this was no exception. West Hills College men's basketball continued to play against the Bakersfield Renegades, and they were victorious 100-83, just in case somebody wants to make sure I was there. My parents used to always do that. You know, what was the score? I never paid attention. I don't know. King's Partnership Awards Breakfast was held on December 1st. I attended the breakfast part, so it was very good. Breakfast burritos. Thank you for that. I too want to thank staff, Ed Hill, Kyria Martinez, and everybody that worked on the State of the County address in the multipurpose room. Also, Supervisor Verboen and Valley were there. We had a lot of presentations, door prizes, and for all of the attendees, and so it was a very nice event. Thank you very much for that. Suites for Seniors was held on Friday. This is a combined effort of the American Legion Post 100 with the Lemoore Parks and Grounds, as well as Jameson High School, who get together and create a breakfast and a good Friday morning event for seniors in the community. Santa visits are in full swing, including a lot of different service clubs and the Lemoore Christmas Parade, and they'll continue right now until the day after Christmas. So with that, thank you very much. Mr. Hill, do you want to talk about board correspondence, upcoming events, and information on future agenda items?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. For board correspondence, your board received a letter dated November 29th from the Corcoran Irrigation District regarding the Water Commission and Groundwater Export Ordinance. For upcoming events, the 13th Annual Winter Open House will take place on Wednesday, December 7th from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Kings County Library, Avenal Branch at 501 East King Street. There'll be raffles, refreshments, face painting, and a visit from Santa. The Lemoore Parks and Recreation Department will be hosting a Breakfast with Santa event at the Lemoore Recreation Center at 721 Cinnamon Drive on December 10th from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. The cost is $10 for entry, which includes breakfast with Santa. There will also be free craft station and photos with Santa as well. Kings County Department of Child Support Services is having its annual slipper sock drive for senior citizens in Kings County. Donations of any slipper sock with skid-proof bottom, one size fits all, can be dropped off at various locations, including Child Support Services located at 317 West 7th Street, Suite 201 in Hanford. The deadline for donations is December 16th. On Saturday, December 17th, the Bethel Ballet Academy presents the Nutcracker at the Hanford Fox Theater. Doors open at 4:30 p.m., curtains at 5 p.m. The tickets are $25 and are available at the box office now. The Rock and Rudolph Run will take place in Hanford at 400 North Dowdy Street on December 18th at 8 a.m. Come experience the 2-mile run/walk costume event. Proceeds support the Hanford Police Activities League. The Kids Fun Run tickets are $15 and the 2-mile run walk tickets for adults are $35. The first New Year Eve masquerade ball will take place on December 31st at 8 p.m. at the Civic Auditorium. The evening will include hors d'oeuvres, champagne toast at midnight, the magic of Elder. I'm not sure who Elder is, but he's obviously magical. And live music by the Valley Cats. Tickets are $100 a piece. Upcoming agenda items. The following items are on the agenda for the 13th. Administration has 5 items. Consideration regarding the board meeting schedule for 2023. Consideration for a claim for damages. Consideration for approval of an agreement with Quinninia Church for the BSCC grant. Consideration for approval of an agreement with the Federal Legislative Advocacy Services from Paragon, and an update on the Small Business Assistant Grant Program. Assessor has 1 item for consideration for the second reading of the low value ordinance. Behavioral Health has 3 items. Consideration to approve a resolution for an agreement with California Health Facility Finance Authority for investment in mental health grant program for children and youth. Consideration for approval of the First Amendment to agreement for depression reduction achieving wellness, and consideration for an approval of an agreement for Friday night live program with Tulare County Superintendent of Schools. Community Development has consideration for updates to the Kings County First Time Homebuyer Program guidelines. Fire has 2 items, consideration to approve acceptance of the 2022 Emergency Management Performance Grant, and consideration regarding acceptance of the fiscal year 2022 Homeland Security Grant Program. Public Health has the COVID-19 prevention services, or excuse me, COVID-19 prevention services agreement. And Public Works has consideration for the Kings County Fire Department Fire Station Number 4 site assessment. And Sheriff has 2 items, consideration for approval of resolution and grant agreement with the California Department of Alcohol Beverage Control, and consideration for approval of the First Amendment to the agreement with Percesis LLC. I probably totally butchered that pronunciation. That concludes that report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Questions or comments from Mr. Hill?
State of the county, city county coordinating meeting tomorrow night, right? In
Correct.
Avenal?
Thank you. 5:30 in Avenal.
Yes, sir. It's a good one. What else we got?
Any other additions? Seeing none, the board will now move into closed session to take up 1 item, significant exposure litigation, and then adjourn out of closed session to our next regular scheduled meeting, which will be on December 13th, 2022. I also want to bring your attention to a Board of Equalization meeting set for 10 o'clock and or soon after we get done with closed session. With that, thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Have a Merry Christmas, and we hope to see you next week. They're on the 13th. We'll move into closed session. Thank you.